Hello everyone, welcome to the Buzz the Prey Manga. Today we continue the latest Global Freeze chapter, rewritten and edited by me in English for a smooth reading experience. All visuals and story flow are personally edited to give you the best manga style storytelling. Support the original creator by checking the official manga. So let's dive right into the today's chapter.
Chapter 2667, An Unusual Calm One. Many people thought this was just the beginning. The Ironclad Clan, Sky Clan, Titan Clan, Zeeping Clan, and the remaining high-ranking members of the Fong Wolf Clan were all watching these images from the front lines in their respective meeting halls. Their eyes were so gloomy, they were almost dripping with tears. Logically, after such a clear opening statement, the next step should be a full-scale war. The Huashu Kingdom, like a madman, pushed its military might towards the border of the ancient Ming dynasty, taking advantage of its newly established prestige to settle all the old scores from the past 2 years. However, everyone miscalculated one step. On the day Zhang Yi completed the final Jingguan, a mound of statues, he recalled all the outer troops and returned to Tianhai City with Fui Ying and the Mechanical Legion. From then on, she reappeared. Not only did no troops advance, but there was no further symbolic provocation. Only those 10 eerie bone towers remained standing silently on the border, as if deliberately reminding everyone, I came, I settled accounts, and then I left. This logical calm is more reassuring than continued fighting. Almost at the same moment, the deepest undercurrents of the ancient city began to surge. This ancient Ming dynasty initially formed a loose alliance to jointly oppress the Huashu Kingdom. Now Zhang Yi has settled accounts with them one by one, inflicting heavy losses and making them pay back several times over. They must have felt resentful, but Zhang Yi's judgment was very precise, making them feel pain, but not to the point of being unable to bear it. Now that Zhang Yi has withdrawn his troops, the question of whether to launch another attack remains unresolved. Beat? Zhang Yi's strength is now clearly more terrifying than it was 2 years ago, and he also has experts by his side. Hota's abilities also have a great deterrent effect on the monks. Simply put, if Zhang Yi and Ho Tu join forces, they can injure and bleed their top experts, and Ho Tu can then pick them off one by one. They also had their reservations. In terms of high-level combat power, we are not confident that we can achieve a complete victory. But the anger of those who fought back was hard to swallow. Thus, the high-ranking officials of the ancient Ming dynasty began a secret meeting. Inside the massive temple standing in Takamagara of the Japanese archipelago, the deity Tengu Minakanushi slowly turned around from the altar where the ancient divine body was enshrined. Clad in a black battle robe, with the Yada no Kagami relief symbolizing the rule of Zeepin Kingdom beneath her feet, she still retained a trace of uncontrollable anger in her eyes as she heard about the destruction of base after base. If we keep dragging this out, we'll just be torn down one by one. He broke the silence in the hall, speaking in a calm, almost icy tone. The Ironclad clan's border fortress has already been breached in several places, and the Titan clan's stone statue legion has also suffered heavy losses. How much longer do you intend to wait? The representative of the Ironclad clan was a powerful knight whose entire body was encased in alloy armor, with only a thin slit between his eyes. Had a brief encounter with Zhang Yi at the all-races negotiation conference, and the pressure of that confrontation is still as clear as if it happened just yesterday. Responded in a deep voice, "It's not that we're willing to act, but that we understand just how many cards the current chaos holds. After returning from the universe, I suspect we had a fortuitous encounter." Tengu no Naka no Kami frowned. "I'll say it again. I'm just a human being. No matter how much external power I gain, I'm still just a flesh and blood body. If we three can truly join forces and unleash all our trump cards at once, then we will surely be helpless against you." The representative of the Celestial clan leaned against a metal pillar, his eyes half closed, his celestial wings folded behind him like 2 folded blades. Slowly opened his mouth. "The problem is, we have no idea whether is still within the category of Earthlings. During the negotiations among all races, we clearly understood the limits of S power. But this time, after returning from Mars, He cleaved the sea with a single sword strike, slaughtered a city in one move, and killed 19 of our Epsilon-level experts in just 7 days. Are you confident that he hasn't taken another step forward? They're talking nonsense. Zhang Yi's overall combat strength has now broken through to the level of the Black Knight. Even if the powerful figures of the great Ming dynasty join forces and win, it will likely be a Pyrrhic victory. The Titan Knight's voice was deep and resonant, like thunder rumbling from deep within the rock. As long as the enemy is alive, the dragons will definitely intervene. If we push too hard on the battlefield and force the dragons to intervene personally, who among us can handle that? There was a brief silence in the temple, broken only by the tinkling sound of the wind chimes by the shrine in the wind outside. On the Zeepin clan side, Takamisu no Sumihai sat in the shadows of the side hall, his fingertips lightly tapping the armrest. He appeared relaxed, but a deep, unfathomable coldness lingered in his eyes. He slowly said, "That's why we need a real alliance, not just a verbal one. You've all been too calculating, seeing Huashu Kingdom as a piece of fat meat that anyone who bites first will lose out, but you've forgotten that the question now is not who's fattened up the most, but who's going to be the first to be put on the chopping block." The heavenly Lord God looked at his people, his tone even more urgent than before. The Huashu Kingdom has always been our only enemy. On the other side of the border between the Heavenly Clan and the Titan Clan, there are also the ancient beings of the Ming dynasty watching your territory, and the Ironclad Clan. Those madmen who live in a remote corner have always wanted to gain a foothold by annexing others. Everyone is scheming against each other, and no one is willing to expose their own back first, which is why things have dragged on until today. But don't you find it ironic? We spent 2 years probing the Huashu Kingdom, and all we got in return were the corpses of 19 Ypsilons in 7 days, and 10 mounds of corpses planted on our border. The armored knight sneered. You make it sound so easy. The battle lines have been laid out, and the supply lines have been cut off. We're fighting desperately against the Huashu Kingdom in the front, and then we get bitten by the Guming Kingdom in the back. Are you rats on the shore, hiding in the sea, laughing even more? We have no intention of doing the work for others. After the world unfolded, at least several dozen people appeared, but they were just a few. Once a type of deity, shows signs of decline, someone will immediately come to devour them. So everyone is targeting Huashu Kingdom, perhaps because they think Zhang Yi died on Mars and want to take a bite out of him. If Zhang Yi hadn't left, they would never have easily attacked Huashu Kingdom. Gao Yuchan Chao Rishan smiled and said in a calm voice, "Who will benefit from this is still uncertain. As long as chaos lives, Huashu Kingdom will still be the most dangerous one. What's really a headache is that as long as the issue of the existence of the Only remains unresolved, no one will dare to act rashly. If you dare to launch a full-scale attack on the Huashu Kingdom now, its ancient civilization will also feel comfortable handing over its trump cards. This delicate balance, to put it nicely, is called a multi-party check and balance. To put it bluntly, it's like everyone is dragging each other down into the mud." Chapter 2668 Unusual Calm 2. So, what exactly are you trying to say? The tribe knight raised his eyes, his gaze sharp as a blade. Do you want us to join forces against chaos, or do you want to use our blade to test its limits? Of course, it's the former. The increasingly tense atmosphere between them was extinguished by the voice of whose tone returned to calm. What we're doing isn't besieging Huashu Kingdom, it's killing one person. As long as chaos is dead, no matter how strong Huashu Kingdom is, it's just a piece of spoils that we get to share a little later. The armored knight said coldly, "That sounds nice. The problem is, how do we kill him? A direct confrontation is impossible. Last time at the All Races Conference, the 4 of us ganged up on this alien, and we only barely managed to force him to use his trump card. Now that he's back from Mars, his strength has increased significantly. If we engage in direct combat, we might not be able to withstand his counterattack. That's why I set it up." Takamiya Suzuki slowly stood up and stepped out of the shadows. The light from above the temple fell on his robes, and the dark patterns embroidered with ocean tides and whirlpools flowed slightly. "We have time. We have patience. Chaos's personality has been clearly seen from the intelligence over the past few years. He seems carefree and easygoing, but he is actually extremely loyal and sentimental. As long as it's related to Huashu Kingdom, as long as it's related to the group of people around him, he can't really stand idly by. The tribe knight narrowed his eyes. You mean, start with the people around him? I'm just stating a fact. Galyachenko's smile was not deep. But no matter where you start, you need to lay the groundwork for a long time and make him think that everything is under your control. If you rush to lay the groundwork now, it will only make things worse. The ironclad knight's knuckles tightened slightly, and after a long pause, he said coldly, Everything you've said is based on one premise, that we're willing to tie our fates together. If the plan fails and Chaos doesn't die, but instead follows the clues to get to us, how do you plan to clean up the mess? That's why it's called, is not gambling. The gaze of the god of the central realm swept over them one by one like needles. This time we won't openly break ties like we did 2 years ago. Instead, we'll shrink the battlefield to a corner he can't see and tighten the reins little by little when he thinks the situation has stabilized. You're worried about exposing your backs? Then each of you should bring in the one civilization you fear most and make them stand on our side. This sentence reveals a lot of information. The 5 nations that want to attack Huashu are not the only ones. After all, back then, Zhang Yi's powerful supernatural abilities, along with the information he obtained from the Yu Palace regarding Ling's human form, the treasure of the Yihan clan, were coveted by many. Once we take control of the situation, not only Huashu Kingdom, but also those civilizations that are just watching from the sidelines will have to learn to bow their heads. The air inside the temple became thick, and even the wind chimes seemed to fall silent. The 4 night-level powerhouses who had fought against Zhang Yi at the All-Races negotiation conference looked at each other. The oppressive feeling from that battle was reawakened in their memories, only to be gradually pushed back into the depths. The representative of the tribe slowly closed his eyes, as if weighing something. After a moment, he opened them, and the hesitation in his eyes was now covered by a deeper shadow. He said in a low voice, Since you've already made up your mind to take this step, then stop wasting time on questions like whether to make a move. Tell me, what's the first step? The armored knights stopped arguing and said in a deep voice, We will not entrust all our trump cards to you, Zipin. We have the right to retain control over any aspect involving key resources and core combat capabilities. The Titan Knight nodded. As long as the direction is the same, it doesn't matter if each person has their own specific methods. The important thing is to remove that person from the game. The god of the 1,000 mina finally revealed a satisfied smile, as if he had been waiting for this moment. Very good. You only need to remember one thing. From now on, Chaos will not die before your eyes immediately. He will continue to live, continue to swagger on the battlefield, continue to build his prestige within the kingdom of Huashu, and may even be more beloved than he is now. He paused, his tone suddenly dropping a fraction, like a cold wind sliding down from the rooftop. What we did was to dig a pit at the top of his destiny as he climbed step by step. When he finally climbed up, thinking that he could look down on everything from the top, we just need to give it a gentle push. None of the specific details of this meeting have been leaked to the public. But since then, the sky over the distant world seems to be lower than before. An unseen shadow has fallen over the lingering shadow of war. It is neither hasty nor impatient, nor does it brandish its claws on the front lines. Instead, it silently extends thin threads within the seemingly peaceful routines of various civilizations, gradually intertwining their destinies. The 12 mounds of Jingguan on the border of Huashu Kingdom still stand tall, silently gazing at all directions in the night. This new boundary deterred various distant races from invading. Zhang Yi stopped short of killing them, sparing them face by whipping them once, but not enough to take their lives. Most people see these mounds of corpses as a memorial to a bloody counterattack, completely unaware of the storm to come. Only a very few people standing at the top vaguely sensed a kind of inexplicable chill slowly emanating from the shadows of the bone towers piled up with heads, gradually approaching a coordinate named Zhang Yi through unseen gaps. Danger lurks everywhere. Zhang Yi and the 5 ancient civilizations are already dead, and he is very clear about his inner thoughts. But does Zhang Yi care? He doesn't care, because he had long understood one thing. When you are weak, even if you have done nothing wrong, the strong can easily torture and kill you. But if you're strong enough, then everything you do is right. In this chaotic world, power alone determines status and right and wrong. Zhang Yi returned to the sea, and in 7 months he became a force to be reckoned with, completely winning over the entire Huashu kingdom, with no one daring to disobey him. Then he began a new round of plans. We achieved level 1 status for all industries in the entire Huashu kingdom within 6 months. Zhang Yi directly issued orders to the top management of the 6 major regions. I will directly dispatch my engineering machinery team to assist you in your work, under the overall command of Chief Engineer Liu Karen. Prioritize the construction of the Great Wall of the Panhuashu Kingdom. Then comprehensively upgrade the entire country's military, industrial, chemical, agricultural, and other key sectors. 6 months from now, I will see a brand new and more powerful Huashu Kingdom. Here ends today's chapter. I hope you liked it. Kindly do also subscribe to my gaming channel. I have to Fina a way to survive. Thanks.
Alright, that's it for today's chapter. Tell me in the comments which part you enjoyed the most. If you love manga style stories, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the Buzz Play Manga. See you in the next chapter with more surprises. Thank you.